Okay, this is this collet is a M16 bolt, and what I'm doing is, right, there's my drive nut for M16 2mm pitch, which is going to fit in the back of there. That whole nut is going to have to be captive in the back of there. Now an M12 nut is much smaller, so what I need to do, so that I can use the same cutout in the back of my quill, is have an M12 nut but at the size of an M16 nut, which is 24mm between faces. So I've got an M16 bolt and I'm drilling it into it at 10.8 or 10.2 so that I can tap it at 12, and then that becomes a feed nut for the M12 bolt. So these will be interchangeable. The first inch of this or so I'm going to grind. Why I chose M16 too instead of M14 or whatever else is that by the time I've ground those first inch of threads off, that will be 12mm, because it's 16 minus 4, 12. And then I can tap that, well, use a die and put a thread on that for going into the back, you know, into the back of my the spindle on my quill. So they'll be interchangeable. Now the one thing I will have to do, they need to be the same thickness. So this one is wider than the head of the nut, the bolt. So I will have to thin this down 2mm till it's the same thickness as the bolt as well. So I'll come back when I'm done a bit more of that and show you what I mean. Thanks. Now a few things I should mention here. One, I use a centre drill to start the hole, and I really pecked it, and I'm holding onto my chuck to stabilise it, but also you're getting feedback from your chuck. So if there's any sideways movement felt, I start another peck. I'd come back and start another peck until there's no sideways movement felt. Then I drilled through with a 7mm drill, same thing, peck until you don't feel any sideways movement on your drill, and then you get in a straight hole. And then I've drilled through at the 10.2. Again, no sideways movement, you know, just keep pecking while you're starting the hole. Once you've got it established and you don't feel any sideways movement, just drill. It's still slow because it's a big drill, but in metal, you know, it's in wood, no problem. So now I've got the tap. You can raise a sweat tapping this big. So these, oh, the other thing is these nuts should be a grade 2, which is just mild steel, not hardened, not, you know, hardened in any way, so it should be soft enough metal. I don't think these are, I think these are slightly hardened, just judging by the feel of the tap, and I hope I don't break a tap. I've never broken it. Oh, I have broken M12 before, so I'm going to take it nice and gentle, slow. Once that's tapped, I can chop it off, and I've got the M16 size nut but drilled and tapped for M12. Well, that was about one of the toughest bits of thread tapping I've ever done. I got 4 threads in. Oh, I annealed the metal. I can tell that this is carbon steel, the way it was cut in. But so I annealed the metal because carbon steel can like case harden. I think I'm putting more stuff into there than I'm getting out. I'll wait till I got it as a nut. yeah, sometimes the blacking process that they use to protect it from rust introduces some hardening. So I annealed it, then I returned, well, I'd got 4 threads in before it started slipping in either the collet or the chuck, the tap. So I returned it to a tap handle and put it in a vise. It was a bit slow progress, but I was turning about 1/4 of the thread at a time, breaking the chip, turning another 1/4, breaking the chip, and eventually I've got a nice, I just had it there, nice snug fitting. Did I mention that I drilled way past where I needed? I drilled past the head of the bolt and an extra 10mm to give clearance for the starter threads on this. So I'm past there with full threads. So now I'll chop this off and run the tap through again just to clear the bottoms of the threads and chamfer the bottom, and that's the M16 to M12 bolt converter, if you like, will be complete. So there we go, one M12, well, M12 tapped drive nut, the same dimensions as the M16, so I only need one cut out in the back of my quill, and I can just swap the nut, little plate over the top to hold it in. So the next step is I've annealed this as well, the first inch. I've got to grind off the threads for the first inch of that and make the drive go down to M12, make that convert down to M12 to go into the back of this collet holder.